Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyimla, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kahakwadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth, and just want to take the water toward the H.I.M and Akwaf. That's all here, sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. Shah Khanan the Waf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just wanted to go off into these couple of precepts in Psalms 147. And these are two major precepts that, brothers use, to prove that this truth is only for Israel and that the Lord is not dealing with all these nations. And I'm going to just get to verse 19 and 20 real quick, and we're just going to grab some of the definitions on words, and just go into some of these precepts to just prove that the Lord is really only dealing with Israel and Israel only, because He only made a contract with them, the old covenant and the new covenant. And when you go into Romans chapter 9, verse 4, it gives you a clear indication of who the Israelites are, and who all those things pertain to. But you have these Christians that's running around out here, and they're trying to tell the whole entire world that this so-called white guy named Jesus is coming back for everybody, and He loves everybody, and that the Lord then gave up on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He lied to them, and now all of a sudden He loves, all the heathen nations that the Lord actually considers to be His enemies and the enemies of the nation of Israel, according to Psalms 83, right? Okay, so let's get it real quick. Verse 19, Psalms 147 and verse 19, it says, He showeth His word unto Jacob, His statutes and His judgments unto Israel. See? He have not dealt so with any nation, and as for His judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So now I'm going to read it in the New Living Translation as well. It's a pretty good translation. Verse 19, New Living Translation, He has revealed His words to Jacob, His decrees and regulations to Israel. He has not done this for any other nation. They do not know His regulations. Praise the Lord. And that's a good translation, because they don't know. It wasn't given to them. And we're going to go into some precepts to show that it wasn't given to these other nations, and not in the New Testament neither. Okay, so let's go into I wanted to get this word showeth. He showeth His word. Let's get this word show. And it's H5046 Nagad. I want to go into it and get it in the Hebrew, right? I'm going to go up into the, let me see here. Salakia. I didn't mean to do that. H50, H5046 Nagad. Yeah, and this is a powerful word. So let's go up into the Jensenius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. And it says, apparently to be in front, to be in sight, hence to be manifested. It says to be clear and manifest, right? To bring to light, hence to show, to tell. And they got a lot of scriptures going off into it. But basically it's to manifest, or to be in sight, to basically to show something, or it was a contract that was made with Israel that wasn't made with no other nation. And actually, when you go into it, the children of Israel agreed to this contract, because the Lord said that if you obey me in Deuteronomy chapter 28, that you will be above all the nations. If you don't, though, you're going to be the complete opposite. You're going to be at the bottom of all these nations. And that's pretty much the state that we're in right now. But the Lord is raising up the children of Israel right now, right? All that Esau has done, because the scriptures talks about how he would get a hold to the scriptures. He will whitewash the images. He would, place himself in these positions of being the people of the Bible, and really they're not. And so in the last days, it also says that the man of sin, the son of perdition, will be revealed, which is the so-called white man. So now what the world is starting to see with the men on the highways and byways is that the Lord is not some white guy. He would actually be a Negro if he walked the earth, according to Revelations 1:13 through 15. So I don't want to lose anybody with this lesson. I just wanted to just kind of point out a few things. So we know that this word showeth goes off into manifest, to put in plain sight, basically, to show, and it's a contract. We made a contract with the Lord. That's what a covenant is. Matter of fact, let's see. Let's look up the word covenant in the Google. Let's see what covenant meaning. Let's see what Google has to say. It says a written agreement or promise, usually under seal, between two or more parties, especially for the performance of some action. The deed conveying the land contained restrictive covenants. Okay, so basically, it's pretty straightforward. A written agreement or promise, usually under seal, between two or more parties. And these two parties, and it was between the Lord, Yahweh, and the children of Israel, Yasha. He made a contract with them. He said, hey, all right. And it was sealed. It was sealed with the blood. When he sprinkled the blood, it says, the scripture talks about how he sprinkled the blood. I can come back to this real quick. Let me see if we can get that, though. So when Christians get to telling you about how everybody is, got a part in this now, that's a goddamn lie, man. They're actually lying on the Lord. That was my auntie. This is it right here. Exodus. Let me go all the way into it. Exodus 24. Let me start at verse 5. More context. It says, and he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord, Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it into basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant, right, and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord hath said, we will do, and be obedient, right? And Moses took the book, Salakia, and Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. So who is he talking to? See? Who is he talking to? He was talking to the children of Israel. Let's start from the top here. Let's see here. Well, when you start from the top, well, let's get it in the NLT. Verse 1, Exodus 24:1. Then the Lord instructed Moses, come up here to me and bring along Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of Israel's elders. All of you must worship from a distance. Only Moses is allowed to come near to the Lord. The others must not come near, and none of the other people are allowed to climb up the mountain with him. Then Moses went down to the people and repeated all the instructions and regulations the Lord had given him. All the people answered with one voice, we will do everything the Lord has commanded. Then Moses carefully wrote down all the Lord's instructions. Early the next morning, Moses got up and built an altar at the foot of the mountain. He also set 12 pillars, one for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. See that? Then he sent some of the young Israelite men to present burnt offerings and to sacrifice bulls as peace offerings to the Lord. Moses drained half the blood from these animals into a basin, or basically like a bowl. The other half he splattered against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it aloud to the people. Again, they all responded, we will do everything the Lord has commanded. We will obey. Then Moses took the blood from the basin and splattered it over the people, declaring, look, this blood confirms the covenant the Lord has made with you in giving you these instructions. Then Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel climbed up the mountain. There they saw the God of Israel. Under his feet there seemed to be surface of brilliant blue lapis lazuli, as clear as the sky itself. But the point that I wanted to make is you can clearly see that this blood covenant is made with the children of Israel, man. You can't get around it. Cannot get around it. So let's go back off into Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20 again. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. And we already know, if you go into the situation with the Lord bringing the children of Israel out of Egypt, he put the plagues upon the Egyptians. He killed the firstborn of the Egyptians. If the Lord wanted everybody to be a part of this covenant, he would have told Aaron and Moses to go into Egypt and tell Pharaoh, hey, look, man, the Lord, he wants to make a covenant with all the people of the earth, and you're a part of that. And since you're in rulership, right off, I'm just bringing you the message of the Lord, and the Lord could have easily had the Egyptians come underneath this covenant easily. But he didn't, because it wasn't for them, right? So now let's go into some of these precepts in verse 19. And it's the blue letter. I'm just going to go into some cross references, right? And these are some of the correlated passages. Let's start at Deuteronomy 33 and 2. And he said, the Lord came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them, and he shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Yeah, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand. And they sat down at the feet, everyone shall receive of thy words. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. There you go, man. You're not going to get around these scriptures, but these Christians, what they do is they whitewash the scriptures, man. Replacement theology. That's what they've done. They've basically said, no, the Lord is not dealing with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob no more. Or basically, he's not dealing with Isaac and Jacob, because they will mention Abraham. But they won't mention the promise that was passed on from Abraham to Isaac and then passed on from Isaac to Jacob. They're not going to mention that because it's all a lie. Because these churches, they make money off of people, everybody come as you are. Scriptures is not for everybody. These Edomites, these Moabites, these Elamites, go into this book of Psalms chapter 83. It gives you a whole list of the Lord's enemies. All those nations are going into captivity when the Lord comes. The children of Israel are no longer going to be on the bottom. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, we're not going to be on the bottom paying taxes and paying a damn water bill and rent and all this other shit to these other nations. No, we're going to be on top, and we're going to have them enslaved like how they had us enslaved. Psalm 76 and 1. To the chief musician of Nagunath, a psalm or a song of Asaph. In Judah is Yahweh known. His name is great in Israel. See? Psalm 78 and 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children. See? He's not dealing with these other nations. It's always been about the children of Israel. Let's get to some more of that. It says that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children. See? That they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. And those commandments were only given to the children of Israel, man. Only given to the children of Israel. Okay, so let me slide away from here real quick. Matter of fact, I can just get it in this other Bible without me coming out of there. Probably shouldn't use this Bible, though. Let me come out of there. That one, they want to go all up into a bunch of damn ads and shit. But let's go up into Hebrews 8 and maybe let's start at like verse 7. Nope, let's start up. Let me start at verse 5. Hebrews 8 and 5. Who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant. Right? Here's the covenant, the new covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if the first covenant had been fault, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Can't get around that. This is New Testament for you people that's always talking about, well, that's the Old Testament. That ain't going on no more. You can clearly say that it's for the house of Israel and the house of Judah, which is the kingdom being, the separated kingdom. Because if you have to know the history. The kingdom was split, just after King Solomon died. The southern kingdom is called Judah, and the northern kingdom is called Israel. So you had basically 3 tribes that was hanging together: Judah, Benjamin, Levi. And then you had the other 10 tribes, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And you had Levites amongst those other tribes as well. But the kingdom was split. So you had northern kingdom, southern kingdom. That's why it's being explained, Israel and Judah. So what the Lord is really coming to do is to put the kingdom back together where it'll just be Israel, or Yahshua, princes of the power. It won't be no southern kingdom or northern kingdom. It's just going to be one kingdom ran by, of course, from the top, our father Yahweh, the son Yahushai, the 12 disciples or the 12 apostles, or Salakia, Yahushai, King David, then the 12. Then 144,000, and then the 1/3, and the 2/3 will be born back into the kingdom, right? But now, to get another account of this, where this is being quoted from, let's go into the Old Testament to get, because it's got to be precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So, what is that? Salakia. Let me start at verse 31. Jeremiah 31 and 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. See? It's the same thing that's in the New Testament. It's just being quoted back here. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law, which was already given to him, that we just read in Psalms 147 and 19, right? That was the very first precept we brought up. It says, after those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people, right? So this is the Lord, going out of his way, so to speak, to bring the children of Israel back into the fold. And this is what this is all about. This is what the good news is about. This is what the gospel is about. So now when you go into, which they hate this chapter right here, Romans chapter 9, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, I say the truth in Yahushua Mashiach, I lie not, my conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost. Now this is Paul, right? That I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were cursed from Yahushua Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. This is going off into, the people of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants with the S on it, plural, old covenant and the new covenant. Who is it saying this for again? Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the services of Yahweh and the promises. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, or Mashiach came. Yahushua. This is why Yahushua is coming, man. And who is overall God blessed forever. Amen. See that? See? Not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. And as we went into this Saturday at camp, before the camera ended up going down on us. Well, we got about 40 minutes in at camp. We had to shut down early on that lesson, but we was going through this chapter. And you can clearly see that this is all about Israel, because even all of Israel is not all Israel. They're not all going to get it or make it. This is about the elect of Israel. So where does these other nations come in at? You see? So we have to, put that spiritual spotlight on these particular scriptures and kind of, go into them. But let's go back to these precepts right here. We got Psalm 78 and 5. Let's get Psalms 103 and 7. It says, he made known his ways unto Moses, his acts unto the children of Israel. Real simple precept, but he did. That's what he done. Malachi 4 and 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Can't get around it, man. Precept upon precept. Or this one right here. Let me get all of this. This is Romans 3. They have it. They're starting it at verse 2. I want to get verse 1 too. It says, what advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Verse 2. The point. Much every way. Chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. What was the oracles? The law, statutes, and commandments that was handed down to them through Moses. See? Okay, so let's get, I just went into 9 and 4. I didn't even know they had this one in there. Romans 9 and 4, we just read that one. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the services of Yahweh and the promises. All those things was given to the Israelites, right? The adoption belongs to them. The glory belongs to them. Both of the covenants, the giving of the law, we just read that of course, that's who the law was given to. And the service of God, who was in the temple, working out the services of Yahweh. The Levites, man. They was the ones that was lighting the incense. They were the ones that were handling the animal sacrifices and things of that nature. Right? Okay, it says, and the promises. Who was the promises given to? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then, his sons, the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so they have 2 Timothy 3 and 15. And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahweh Shai of Mashiach. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, and for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. But right here in verse 15, it's telling you, it says, in that from a child that thou hast known the holy scriptures. This is going into the Israelites. This is talking about an Israelite that from a child he knew. The Lord he wasn't running about when he walked the earth, trying to save Pontius Pilate, man, or any of the Romans. Everywhere that the disciples was going, they was going to synagogues. And those letters, which are called epistles, were written to the churches of the Israelites that were scattered abroad. That's where you get James. Let's go into James real quick. And I can end out here. I just wanted to do something real quick on it. It was just by the Spirit, because I was reading in Psalms 147. And hey, them last two verses in Psalms 147, hey, that's a clear-cut killer, man. 19 and 20, his word was only given to Jacob, man. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Can't get around it. And these is who, all these lessons or all these epistles, there were Israelites that were scattered in Corinth, Israelites scattered in Thessalonica, Israelites scattered in Ephesus, so on and so forth. They were in Rome. They were in Italy. The scriptures also talked about how it was devout men out of all nations, Jews from out of all nations that was coming up to the for the Passover and things of that nature. The Israelites was coming up 3 times a year, like how the law says. And some of them were in all these other nations, and they spoke Greek. They spoke, what I'm saying, all these different languages. They they were living in those different cities. It's no different than Negroes being in Germany and Negroes being in America. You got the ones in Germany, they speak German. You got the ones that's in America that speak English. That's like you got a family reunion going on, and everybody coming from all these different places, but they come from the same mother and father or grandmother and grandfather. But now you got one that's went to Tokyo. He done studied over there. Kids was raised in Tokyo. You got one that's in China. Kids raised in China. You all meet up at the barbecue in the backyard in Alabama. And the kids may know Chinese, Japanese, and all these different languages, but they may know English as well. Generally, that's how a lot of these those other countries do. See, us in America, we just pretty much just speak English. The northern tribes, they'll speak, English and Spanish and things of that nature. But generally, us blacks, so-called blacks in America, we just speak the one language. You know what I'm saying? The bastard language of English. But the point is that, hey, we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man. And this is where those apostles and disciples was going to. They were going to Israelites that were scattered throughout those regions. So when you see the word Gentile, you have to understand that there's two versions of Gentiles. You got the Gentiles that are actually Gentiles of those nations, and then you had Israelites that lived among the Gentiles that took on the Gentiles' customs, and they were considered to be Gentiles themselves, but they were Israelites by blood. It's simple, man. But James 1:1, it says, James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. Why does it say the 12 tribes? Who are the 12 tribes? The 12 sons of Jacob. Israel, Yasharallah, the Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. And it's saying the 12 tribes, you know what I'm saying? Because, mostly this was the southern kingdom, but it was a lot of all the 12 tribes was people of all the 12 tribes within those regions, man. And it's really very simple, man. But you know what I'm saying? We have to continue on bringing this out, because there are newcomers that are coming into this truth. A lot of them don't know it. They don't know the precepts, and there's plenty of more precepts. Plenty of more precepts. We can go on and on with this, but and just bring out the scattering. You know what I'm saying? Because Israel has been into a lot of captivities, man. When you go into Daniel chapter 7, and it gives you those kingdoms, the Israelites have been in captivity to all these kingdoms. The Egyptians, you know what I'm saying? The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans. We're in captivity right now. You see? So I just wanted to just touch on that real quick. Let me see here. And on out. Psalms 147 again. Those was precepts from verse 19. Now, verse 20, cross-reference that. Let's see what yeah, they got some precepts, but the point is made, because they kind of going into a couple of the other ones. I'll get this 1 Peter 2:9. It says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. Who is the priesthood, man? We're no damn heathens, man. I'm going into the temple. They're not a part of the nation. It says a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into this marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. You can get that, that one right there probably take you up into Hosea, where it talks about, let me see if they got it. They probably do have it in Hosea, where it talks about us being not a people. Yep, right here. Hosea 1:9. Then said Yahweh, call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. And that's what's going on out here. That's what's going on in the world right now. At one point, the Lord had, he turned his back on us, because we were so sinful. We was, into all kinds of idolatry and all kinds of weirdo shit. But now in these last days, that's how we're in the last days, and this place is not going to last much longer, because we're being awakened. The children of Israel are starting to see who they really are. We're not blacks. We're not these bywords. We're not Hispanics. We're not Native Americans. We're not Haitians, Jamaicans, Latinos, Dominicans, Hondurans, and whatever the hell else these people done gave us as a name. We're not those people. We're Israelites. See? And they also have it right. See, this is where it was quoted from in Romans 9:25. Same thing from the Old Testament. That's how we know the Old Testament and the New Testament goes together. Romans 9:25, it says, as he said also in Hosea, which is Hosea. They just have it in the Greek. They say Hosea, but it's actually Hosea. I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. How are we called the children of the living God? because we are the Israelites that came out of Egypt with Moses, and the Lord chose us as his special people. We are his inheritance. We are his portion. You go into Deuteronomy 7:6, Deuteronomy 14:2. It's all kinds of scriptures that tells you that, the Lord chose us above all people, to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. So that lets you know right there that, there's no equality. Everybody got a friend that they like more than the other friend. You're not going to, if you got 10 friends, which is rare, let's just say you got 2 friends. One of them are going to have attributes that you love more than the other one. It's just simple, man. You might say, well, all right, I love both of them the same. People say that about their children, but that's not the case. You may have 5 children. You can't possibly love them all the same, because they're not going to all be the same person. They're all going to have different attributes. It's going to be that one that get on your fucking nerves. You're going to have that one that never gives you a problem. He's just, something about him is just his spirit you just love. You're going to have that one that's always taking you through some bullshit. So the Lord, he chose a special people unto himself. You can't get around it. And people get all up in arms about, well, why would he just choose one people? We all the same people. We one race, the human race. We all bleed red. They give you that bullshit. Like, man, get the hell out of here, man. We don't know why. All we know is that he chose the children of Israel. It is what it is. We can't change it. What you gonna do? You can't get to heaven and even chop it up with the Lord like that. What you gonna do to the Lord? Come on, bro. Anyway, I wanted to touch on that for a hot second, man. I pray that the lesson was edifying, and I'm sure brothers gonna be going into this quite a bit more, because the basics are coming back. We like to go into the basics, and also cover the prophecies as well. The prophecies is what we're really, really on, because we are in the last days. World War III, prophetic, already in popping, is already pretty much playing out here. All the beginning of sorrows, the earthquakes, the wars, rumors of wars, the pestilence, the famines, the things that the Lord Yahweh was spoken of, the things that are in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 and 2 and 3, I think it is, talking about perilous times. And then also 2nd Esdras 15, chapter 15, chapter 16. What else? Of course, Revelation 13 and 16. Can't get around that one with the MOTB, that mark of the beauty and the beast. Major prophecy. So we touch on those things, but again, there are newcomers that's coming into this truth. So we like to hit these, it's really not milk. It's milk though, because these are more simpler scriptures that you should be picking up on in the spirit. But it can be somewhat of, dark sayings to certain people, or, meat, so to speak. But, we have to bring out the basics, though, because a lot of people don't know that, hey, look, this is not for everybody. The Bible is not for everybody. Salvation is not for everybody. You see? So with that, Kwame Yashala.